Hi everyone, Sebastiano here of nucleoapp.com. Okay, so in this quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can create human figure icons in Illustrator. So I've been designing a lot of these icons lately. We have just updated the sport category of Nucleo, and we have created a bunch of these icons for the Olympic Games. Okay, I thought, so why don't sharing what we have learned in this process in a simple tutorial. So we are going to start. We're going to design the icon, a skateboarding icon, and we are in Illustrator. And as you can see, we have a reference image for the basic human figure example, let's say, and then we have a draw of the skateboarding icon we want to create. So we are going to start from the 32 pixel size. And before we start, I just want to mention that I'm going to use shortcuts in Illustrator a lot. So if I forget to mention them, you can check the shortcuts that I'm using at the bottom of the screen, and just a couple that I'm going to use a lot. So we have command apostrophe for showing and hiding the grid. And if the grid does not appear in your case on top of the image, you can go to Illustrator Preferences, Guides and Grid, and you can just uncheck this checkbox here. Okay, so we were saying we have a reference here. So this is like a good way to start designing human figure icons. You want to have kind of a reference so that you can pick the same size for the head, for example, and try to use the same size for the arms and legs and the body thickness. And then you can just draw the icon like I did, or you can use my example. And this is a way for me to remember let's say the shape that I want to achieve, because it will be impossible for me to draw the skateboarding icon by memory. So you can just you can Google skateboarding, you can Google skateboarder or skateboarding icon to see a few examples of icons designed by other designers, and you can just come up with a very simple sketch. It doesn't have to be anything, crazy or realistic, because probably we're going to change this anyway. Okay, so let's start. First of all, we're going to drag the head here. And okay, so we are starting with the outline version, and which is, in my opinion, the simplest kind of icon we can draw, because we can just grab the pen tool and we can go around and we can just click and try to create the same shape of our reference draw. So in this example, we can just, in this case, I'm going to lock this one, go here, and create the shape of the leg. So it doesn't matter if at the very beginning it doesn't look so good. Like, you can see that the shapes are not looking great, the distances are completely off. We are just putting together the lines, and we are going to tweak them later. Okay, so let me unlock layer. You can do that by pressing Alt or Option, Command and 2, while you can lock an element in Illustrator pressing Command 2. Okay, so let me just move around some of these points. It's going to be up a little bit, up and up as well. A bit more. Here we go. Now you can see we can kind of see the cap of this line on top of this other line here. So we can just fix this by selecting both lines and changing the cap to butt. There we go. Okay, now we are getting closer already. You can move around a little bit, and we can design the skateboard as well. Okay, so in my example, you can see we have the skateboard is not a straight line. But when we start from a smaller size, so with small sizes, like in this example, 32 pixels, you may want to remove some stuff and make the icon more minimalistic, let's say. Because, for example, we could add other 2 anchor points here and do this, for example. That would require probably too much space, or it may work. I mean, it really depends by if you like the result or not. For now, I'm sticking with a more minimalistic version, so I'm just going to delete these extra points here. Now we need to create the wheels, and I'm going to do something like that. I think I need more space here. There we go. So we are bringing this into the artboard. So now we know that we need to move this up a little. We need to move the entire body up a little. I can do something like that. We want this here. Okay. Now in our example, we also have another anchor point. Notice how everything is really super snappy when I'm moving points around, and that's because I have snap to grid enabled, so you probably want to do the same. And as you can see, this process is just really about moving anchor points and changing the lines so that this example looks closer to the draw that we have. Here we go, you can see the icon is taking shape. What really helps is we can start adding some roundness to the edges. For example, we can, so I'm using the direct selection tool. We can select this point here and do something like that. Going to add a little bit of border radius here as well. And yeah, I think we are pretty close. We can okay, we can just zoom out, press Command 1, and we can see how it will look like if used at its real size. So probably it needs a little bit more distance here. So let's remove this one. There we go. Back with the radius. And yeah, I think we have a nice result. You can probably just switch everything up of 1 pixel. And okay, so let me hide this. Pressing Command 3 will hide elements. If you want to bring them back, you can just press Option Command N3. But I'm going to hide them. So we can just look at this icon, which looks pretty nice to me. And as you can see, there is nothing crazy going on when you create outline icons like this one. We can probably change the corner to a round, to have a round join, which is going to affect just the corners of this path. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is the first of a 4 parts tutorial, and we have just created a 32 pixel icon in Illustrator. So we can export it. You can press Option Command N2 to launch the exporter. Then you can select the icon, and we are going to export it into any folder you want. Okay, this is going to be skateboard. There we go. And I'm just going to import it in Nucleo. Here we go. Creating a new set, skateboard icons. And this is outline, create new. So here we go. So we have the first icon, the 32 pixel outline icons. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how we can create a glyph version, which is a bit more complicated than this one. Just one last note, the Nucleo icons, they are customizable. So when I complete an icon like this one, it's a good habit for me to change stuff, like change, for example, the cap to a round cap, and sorry, just make sure that the icon still looks okay, and it does in this case. Or we can, for example, change the thickness of the icon from 2 pixels to 1. And once again, we can just check and see that it looks okay. And yeah, and it does. So I think we are good to go here, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.